Okay, good morning everyone, and thank you for joining this webinar today. My name is Emma Wall and I'm the Events Coordinator at Connecting Up. For those of you that don't know, Connecting Up is a non-profit organisation whose aim is to strengthen the not-for-profit and community sector in Australia by providing a variety of information, products, resources and programs, especially in the field of technology, social media, marketing and communications. Our webinar today will be presented by Ryan Jones from Connecting Up, who will provide an overview of the Connecting Up Technology Donations Program. Over to you, Ryan.
Thanks, Emma. Am I muted? Thanks, Emma, and thanks everyone for joining us today. And please make Emma feel welcome. She's new here, so and you'll be hearing her voice a fair bit over the next few months. So today's webinar is all about our donations and discounts programs, what the programs are about, what's new in the last few months. It might be that you want to get a refresher on the program, or it may be that you're new to the program and you want to get a bit of extra information. One of the focuses for us out of this webinar is to answer all of your questions. So if you do have any questions throughout the webinar, please type them into the question box and we will go through all of your questions as they come up. And so I encourage you to ask as many questions as possible, and we'll stay here doing the webinar until they're all answered. So to start with, I want to separate out the donations and the discounts programs, and I just want to talk specifically about the donations program for a bit. So the donations program used to be called DonorTech. Some of you may be familiar with DonorTech. The whole focus of the donations program is world-leading technology companies donating primarily software to not-for-profit organisations to be able to cut their IT costs and allow them to then invest that money in service delivery. So it's about what your organisation can do as a result of receiving the donations that you couldn't before. It's about making sure that your organisation is as efficient as possible. So some of our donation partners, some of our most popular donation partners are Microsoft, Symantec and Adobe. But we have a range of really strong partners from an Australian company called Calxa through to a UK company called Huddle, SAP, Tolosa Donate, their fundraising management system, and a lot more. Each of our different donor partners offer a generous amount of software to each organisation, and in some cases we may be able to assist you with any extra you may need over the top. Now, when we say donation, all of these IT companies will donate their products to organisations that qualify, but we do not receive funding for this program. So we keep the program sustainable by charging a small administration fee on each order, which is equivalent to about 4 to 8% of retail price. That just ensures that not only can we provide you with a donation today, but we'll be able to provide you with another donation in a year's time when you need it. So that's the pricing you can see on the website when you go and look at the donated products. So what else is different about the donations program as opposed to walking into Harvey Norman, Dick Smith, JB Hi-Fi to order software? Well, one of the things is that the program is part of a global network of non-profits supporting each other primarily through technology. So we've partnered with a US-based organisation called TechSoup Global, and TechSoup Global now have not-for-profit partners in about 40 countries throughout the world, and Connecting Up are the partner in Australia and New Zealand, and we also support TechSoup Asia, which provides similar programs throughout Southeast Asia. So it's all about not-for-profits supporting not-for-profits. Now, I mentioned before that all the software through the donations program was donated, and the only cost is a small administration fee. It's a bit unique, a bit of a social enterprise model, I guess. One of the things is that all of our partners have different areas of giving. So some of you will find that you can't order from every partner. And that's down to, it might be down to the specific area that an organisation wants to donate to. It may be that an organisation only wants to donate to small organisations, and so they have a budget cap. There are a range of different criteria there, and so if you do have a question about a partner that you want to order from and you can't, just give us a call and we'll be happy to talk to you about it. And in some cases it may be that the data that we have is out of date, and if we update it you might be eligible. It's worth asking the question. All of the Microsoft licenses in particular are available through the donations program are volume licenses. So there's a couple of differences with volume licenses. One is that most of the Microsoft product you see in the range, and you'll see with assurance written in their title on the website, they come with 2 years of software assurance. So what that means is that software assurance is going to give you upgrade and downgrade rights to that software for 2 years. So if you ordered, for example, Office 2013 today, you could downgrade to Office 2010 if you need to. And you might be an organisation where everybody's on Office 2010, and rather than upgrade everybody to Office 2013, you may just get one extra license of Office 2010. The other thing you can do there, though, is your license of Office 2013 today, if Microsoft release Office 2015 next year, then you will be able to automatically download Office 2015 from the Microsoft Volume License Center for free. And the other thing which we get asked quite a lot is your licenses won't expire after the 2 years. It's only your software assurance that expires. The licenses that the Microsoft licenses through the donations program don't expire. You can use them for as long as you want. The other thing which isn't just Microsoft specific but does affect Microsoft is that all the software through the donations program now is digital download only. So in the case of Microsoft, that's downloading through their Microsoft Volume License Service Center, but all of the donation partners that you need to have downloaded the software for, we have guides on the website that are quite easy to follow. And if you do have any problems at any time, feel free to get in touch and let us know. So that's the basics of the donations program, and we'll go through that in a bit more detail in a minute in terms of product. But the other program is our discounts program, and often there's a little bit of confusion over the difference, but the main difference here is that it's a discount, not a donation. So what that means is that instead of paying an administration fee of 4 to 8% of retail price, you're getting a significant discount off the retail pricing. So that might be 50% off retail pricing, might be 90% off retail pricing, depends on the partner and the product. So you will get a significant discount through the discounts program, and in most cases it'll be a unique discount, but the prices are higher than the donations program just due to the nature of what they are. And some of these companies they want to support not-for-profits, but they aren't in a position to be able to donate their products. And that might be because they're physical goods or service-based. Others just want to support as many organisations as possible, so they make a flat discount available to everybody. And because it's discounted rather than donated, in general there aren't the same restrictions involved. Everybody on the call should qualify for discounts from the companies that you can see on the slide there. And that's everything from MYOB's accounting software through to refurbished computers, a whole range of different antivirus providers, Hootsuite social media management, D-Link networking gear, and a lot more. Now, in terms of your account, we quite often get questions about your account. Once you are on the website and logged into the website, I'm assuming everybody on the webinar today is already registered with the program. If that's not the case, please let us know in the question box. If you are already registered with the program, once you're logged in, you will see in the top menu a link to the My Account page. And once you click on the My Account page, it will look something like this. So you'll see, hopefully you can see my cursor, you'll see this green tick here means that I am registered and qualified for the Technology Donations and Discounts program. And it tells me that I'm qualified. So if I want to know which partners that I can order from, I can just click on what can I get, and it'll bring up a box in the middle of the screen that shows all the partners that I can order from. And I can click links to take me straight to pages about their programs and listing their products. If I go to the Order Now link, I can go straight to start ordering products. If I need copies of old invoices, if I need to know, quite often if you're new to an organisation, you might want to know what the organisation has previously ordered. You can click on the View Order History and you can see all of that history. This link here, Microsoft Donation Center, if you are Microsoft qualified, you will see that link. And that is a really important link for anyone that orders Microsoft donations. By clicking on that link, you can get an up-to-date summary of all of the Microsoft donations that you've received in the different title groups, different products, and also the retail value, which is often a scary number. But that's going to provide you with a very quick idea, once you've been placing a few Microsoft orders, of how much more you can order. Because in terms of Microsoft, there is a limit to how much you can order in a 2-year period. So that Microsoft Donation Center will show you how much you've ordered, how much more you can order, and when your 2-year cycle is up and everything is reset. So in general, you can order up to 10 different titles and up to 50 licenses of each title. So a title might be Office 2013, and you might order 25 Office 2013 Standard and 25 Office 2013 Plus, Professional Plus, and that would be your 50 licenses. Now, only a couple more things here. One is your delivery address. You can't change that on the website, but you can see what it is, and we can't accept PO boxes for delivery addresses. Fortunately, like I said before, most of the software now is digital download only, so you'll find that more often than not we don't have to deliver items. But if you are ordering computers and things like that, they can't be delivered to a PO box. If you purchase webinars, any of our paid webinars, you'll be able to find the recordings under purchased content. So if you ever forget the link or lose the link, then it's there for you. And the other one here is Cisco application. If you have previously been qualified to receive Cisco donations, Cisco made some changes to their donations program a little while ago. And if you can't currently order Cisco, you may need to submit a special Cisco application. So just spend a couple of minutes going through that application if you see that there, and then you'll be ready to order Cisco networking equipment whenever you are. Now over here on the directory, you can see I've got a attention alert triangle thing. That means that I haven't claimed my organization's listing on the directory. Now that is optional and doesn't have any bearing on your donations and discounts listing, but if your organization is on our directory, and there's a high probability that it is, then if you claim your listing, you'll be able to make your own edits to that listing. And one last one on this page is membership. If you want to register as a member, you'll get discount on our events. You'll get a 1-hour mentoring session, which can really help you plan your IT, and you'll get a discounted pass to our conference and a few other things. So that is the My Account page. Has anyone got any questions at this point? No? Great. So we'll just go through a few things that have changed recently, some of them more recent than others. And this is probably the area where a lot of you will be really interested. But again, if you have any questions, just let us know. So we are now at the end of the road for Windows XP and Microsoft Office 2003. So these are now end of life and have been for a few months. So what this means is there are no more security updates or upgrades to either of these products. If you do have any computers still running either of these pieces of software, they're not really secure, and we highly recommend you upgrade them as soon as possible. In some cases you can get away with continuing to use Windows XP computers for less mission critical applications, but not if they're connected to the internet. So either remove them from the internet or upgrade them to a newer version of Windows. Depending on the age of the computer, you may be able to upgrade it to Windows 7 or Windows 8 without having any hassles. Now, one thing that is a bit newer is that Windows Server 2003 will become end of life on July 14 next year. So according to the very helpful Microsoft website I was looking at this morning, that's 216 days, not that they're counting down or anything. Now, the reason why I raise this now when you've got more than 6 months is that servers are vital. They contain so much information about your organization if you have a server that when Windows Server 2003 is end of life, there will be no more updates, there will be no more security patches. And Microsoft have pointed out that this means that Windows Server 2003 will become non-compliant with some of the industry standards and regulations. The data that a lot of our organizations have is so important that it has to be kept secure. And the other thing is that because of the amount of data and how important servers are, server upgrades can take quite a lot of time. Depending on the planning stage takes a while, and then actually doing the migration without interrupting service takes. So I recommend that you start planning for upgrades now if you have Windows Server 2003 servers. And maybe this is a good opportunity to consider some of the other options, such as some of the cloud offerings that we'll talk about in a minute. Our first cloud offering that I want to talk about today is Office 365. So Microsoft now donate the Enterprise E1 plan of Office 365 to eligible Australian not-for-profit organisations. So this is not the Office 365 that's offered through Harvey Norman, JB Hi-Fi, Dick Smith. This is the Enterprise plan. So that means that it includes a lot of server technologies. So Exchange, email and calendar hosting, SharePoint, OneDrive for Business for file storage, and Office Online. You get all of that for free. Now, what we've done is we've partnered with another not-for-profit called Info Exchange to deliver Office 365 readiness assessments for organisations looking at taking the leap to Office 365. The focus of these readiness assessments are to help you understand what is involved in moving to Office 365, whether your existing IT equipment meets the requirements for Office 365, what upgrades you might require to make the move, and costs involved in making a transition. Depending on whether you have IT staff in-house or not, this is a really important step to take. So there's information about these on our website. I think they're about $100, and that will give you a good idea of whether you're ready to move to Office 365. Any questions at this point? No? Great. Okay, now Adobe Creative Cloud is back. This is a very recent addition to the program. Now, Adobe Creative Cloud is offered through the Adobe Discount Program, not the donation program. So we offer discounted licenses of Creative Cloud for teams. So Adobe currently donate Acrobat Professional and Photoshop and Premiere Elements, which we'll talk about in a bit more detail shortly. But they still discount a range of different solutions. So if you weren't aware, Adobe now have a wholly cloud-based approach to their Creative Suite. So Creative Cloud is the only way to stay up to date with the latest Adobe software. Now when we say it's cloud-based, it's not cloud-based in the perspective that you operate it through a web browser like some other cloud pieces of software. You download the software to your computer just like you always have, but you have access to a huge suite of tools which includes web design programs, graphic design tools, video editing programs, and a lot more. You can download them to your computer as you need them, and you manage all your updates in one place. You also get access to a range of fonts and 100 gigabytes of cloud storage per user, which for some of these graphic assets is really useful. We also still have some of the other Adobe products, some of the Creative Suite 6 products available at discount prices. So I recommend you check the website for specific products, or feel free to ask us and we will have a look. If you haven't used Creative Cloud yet, Adobe have made some really good improvements in Creative Cloud, so I highly recommend having a look, and there are free demos available. Now when I was saying before about some of the cloud offerings that were available, we have partnered with a company called Orangey Technologies to offer discounted infrastructure as a service. So what infrastructure as a service basically is a server in the cloud, but instead of buying that server outright, you are able to effectively, it's almost like renting it like a utility, like a service. So you pay for, at the moment you probably pay for the electricity for the server, you pay for a data connection to the server, but instead of that you can now pay one fixed sum to have a continually upgradable server. So this is a really good option if you have servers that are on their last legs, if you have servers that are running specialized software that can't be moved to one of the free or discounted cloud offerings, or you have some other specific requirement that isn't covered by some of the other offerings. Some of the ways that infrastructure as a service is being used at the moment are running Microsoft SQL servers so that you can continue to run your database applications. Some organizations choose to run a Linux-based server so that you can run your existing website. You can even run Windows Server and run Active Directory from your infrastructure as a service server. So we've developed this offering with Orangey Technologies to specifically cater for the requirements that not-for-profit organizations were telling us they really needed. So a couple of the key things here are these servers are based in Australia, in Orangey Technologies' Brisbane-based data centre, and most importantly they are certified to the Australian government's AGAMO standards. So they're secure and they keep the data onshore, which I know is really important for a large number of organizations. So we have more information about those on our website, but we also did a webinar on infrastructure as a service recently, which when I finally fix the recording will be going into our Learning Centre. So keep an eye out for that. Now the last new thing that I just want to talk about very quickly is Google for Nonprofits. The Google for Nonprofits program has just launched in Australia, and not-for-profit organizations can benefit from a range of different donations as part of that program. So Google are donating their Google Apps accounts for not-for-profits, but you can also access Google Ad Grants. So Google Ad Grants is a $10,000 per month credit on Google AdWords. So you can promote your organization on google.com.au free of charge up to $10,000 per month. So that's a great opportunity to expand the reach of your organization. You can run regular fundraising campaigns. You can run lots of different campaigns and lots of different programs using that $10,000 per month. You will also get access to YouTube for nonprofits if you're currently using YouTube, and you get access to Google Earth Pro through the Google Earth Outreach Program. So there's information about that and registering for that on our website. We also recently ran a webinar on it, which you'll find on the website as well, and we'll run another webinar in the new year. So keep an eye out and stay tuned. So before I go into the next part, has anyone got any questions? Gives me just enough time to have some coffee. Nope, no problems. So when I'm speaking to organisations that have just registered with the program, we get a lot of organisations that don't have a lot of IT background, and they come to me and they say, look, all of these products are fantastic, but what do other organisations like mine order? What do I really need? So what I've done is I've developed a list of some of the most popular products that we'll talk through quickly and have a look. Honestly, the most popular program through our donations and discounts program is the Microsoft donation program. Microsoft donations make up the lion's share of the donations through the program, and most organisations take this opportunity to upgrade all of their computers to the same version of Windows and Office, even if this is 1 or 2 computers. And there is a lot of organisations under just how much of a productivity benefit there is in having everybody in an organisation on the same version of Windows and Office. It solves so many of those little niggly compatibility issues. Being able to send a Word file to a colleague and know that they'll be able to open it and they'll be able to see it as you intended is really important. Also helps with training as well. So if you have staff coming in and they know how to use a particular type of computer in your office, well, now all the computers in your office can be on the same version, which helps with their understanding. Organisations that are larger, have more computers, a lot of them will also upgrade Windows and Office, but a lot of them will also look at things like Windows Server and use the savings that they get through the donation to pay IT providers to properly install and set up their server. So this will allow organisations to share files in a common area, host their own email and calendars through Microsoft Exchange. It may be used to provide cloud access so that your staff that work remotely or do home visits can access their files when they're out of the office. Again, that's really, really important functionality. Antivirus is a really big one, and through the donations program, the most popular solutions for that have been Norton 360, which is Semantic Donate, and Semantic Endpoint Protection, which is basically designed for larger organizations. The other popular solutions have been Cisco networking switches and wireless equipment, and of course our refurbished computer program, which has been one of our most popular programs since it launched a couple of years ago. So if you do have other things that you would like to see in the program that you don't see at the moment, please do let us know. That refurbished computer program is a perfect example of a program that came together because of a specific need from the organisations we work with. So some of the products that have been the most popular through the program is, we'll start with Windows, and the latest version of Windows is Windows 8.1. Windows 8.1 has had some pretty significant improvements made to it over Windows 8, and we find that it is faster and more secure and more reliable than previous versions of Windows. I'll take this opportunity once again to mention that if you are still using Windows XP, please upgrade now. It's really important. And I just want to little bit confusing, but if you want to order Windows 8.1 Professional or Windows 7 Professional, what you need to do now through the program is order Windows 8.1 Enterprise, and you'll be able to downgrade through those software assurance rights I said about before to Windows 8.1 or Windows 7 Professional. The other interesting thing with Windows licensing is if you order the Get Genuine licenses, they're designed for computers which don't have a legal version of Windows on them. They're mislicensed, or they have an alternative operating system. The important thing to note with Get Genuine is you can only place one order ever for the Get Genuine licenses. So if that order is for one license, then you can only order one license. If you order 50 licenses at once, then that's all you can order. So it's just worth thinking about, and it just emphasizes the need for some planning when it comes to your technology and understanding what you may need, not just now, but in the future. We have one quick question.
Yep, our question is Kylie was wondering if they can access Office for Mac Suite.
That is my next slide, Kylie. You've preempted me. Great question. So I was primarily going to talk about Office 2013, but right off the bat we'll talk about Office for Mac. So Office for Mac 2011 is available through the donations program. Office for Mac 2011 doesn't include software assurance. None of the Mac products do. It includes, you can see the list of what Office 2013 provides on the slide there. The Mac version does not come with Publisher or OneDrive, and access is not available for Mac. Really important thing with Office for Mac, which I know because I use Office for Mac every day, is that there is a new version coming next year. Microsoft have already sort of half released a new version of Outlook, and it's a massive improvement over the old version of Outlook. So sometime next year there'll be a new version of Office for Mac, and at this point, based on what I'm seeing with Outlook for Mac, I'd recommend everyone run out there and upgrade as soon as they can, because it's a pretty major upgrade. Office 2013 is the PC equivalent. Obviously it's a little bit newer than the Mac version. There's always a couple of years difference between releases. Important thing to note here is that both Office 2011 for Mac and Office 2013 are compatible with Office 365. Office 365, the donated license, does not include a desktop client. That's available at a higher plan, which is available at a discount, or you can request a donated license through the donations program, and that donated license can be used to interface with Office 365. So particularly some of the, Kylie, just saw your question, and yes, it will be available through the donations program next year. As soon as it's available, we'll let everyone know. So the document collaboration features of Office 365 do work in Office 2011 and Office 2013. So if you do need a desktop client for Office 365, quite often getting a donation of Office 2013 or 2011 through the donations program can work out quite a bit cheaper than getting the Office 365 upgraded plan. So you can also see there, I mentioned before, all of the products that are included in Office 2013 Standard, and Office Professional Plus adds Access, InfoPath, Link, and Business Contact Manager for Outlook. So if you know you need any of those, then make sure you order the Professional Plus version. Otherwise, Standard includes most of the staples of organizations, things like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher, really important programs. Okay, no more questions at this point. So we'll move on to antivirus. And antivirus is, especially for people working with not-for-profit organisations like all of us are, antivirus is really important to protect our computers and to protect our computers not just from viruses but also from hackers and security threats. So Symantec donate their desktop and enterprise solutions. This includes Norton 360 and Norton Antivirus for Mac and Symantec Endpoint Protection. Most small organisations order Norton 360 and most medium to large organisations order Symantec Endpoint Protection. Now, the Symantec desktop range haven't been available for a while, but they will be back in stock next week, so make sure you keep an eye out. One frequent question we get is about renewing antivirus. Your antivirus must be renewed yearly, and all you need to do is request a new donation. So you just place an order for as many licenses as you need, and you can place one order per year. A relatively recent addition to the program is Bitdefender. So Bitdefender is not particularly well known in Australia, but it is one of the biggest antivirus products in Europe and overseas. And we're getting a lot of really good feedback from the organisations that are using Bitdefender. One of the interesting things about the Bitdefender range is they have different packages and different bundles available for different sized organisations, whether that's a 1 or 3 license bundle through to a 100 license bundle, depending on the size of your organisation and what you need. So if Symantec isn't available and you want to try something new, or either way, I would recommend having a look at Bitdefender and seeing what you think. It may be the perfect solution for your organisation. O&O software provide a range of almost like tune-up software, so there's some backup solutions and there's some other products to help your PCs run quick and effectively. And we also have 2 discounted antivirus providers, and they are Kaspersky and Sophos. Now, they're generally designed for larger not-for-profits, and Kaspersky in particular includes some really good tools for computer management, which can be really good for IT managers who want to set up software across the network. The other really good thing about Kaspersky is if you're looking at mobile device management, which is becoming more and more of a problem now that more staff are bringing their own devices to work, Kaspersky have a really good solution for that, which is included in some of their antivirus products. So have a look into the Kaspersky range. And I think we have a webinar recording on the website about some of that mobile device management functionality in Kaspersky. Okay, now when it comes to accounting, we have 2 accounting partners that work together to help you tackle your accounts. The first of those is MYOB, an Australian company that provide accounting software that I know a lot of organisations are using. Sort of became synonymous for a lot of people with computer accounting when we went to the GST. MYOB is great for handling your day-to-day accounting, your invoicing, your payroll and more. There are versions available for Windows and Mac, as well as web-based versions. You can even use scripts now to pull your accounts data from your bank feeds, and it keeps everything up to date. What Calxa does is Calxa integrates with MYOB to help you produce graphical and easy to understand budgeting and cash flow forecasting reports. Cash flow can be really good for board reports, things like that. Calxa is another Australian company. Anybody who's been to our conference before, which was in the Gold Coast this year but will be in Adelaide next year, hopefully have met Mick and Alex from Calxa. Great Australian company that just want to support the sector. So it's worth having a look into their software if you do have budgeting and cash flow forecasting needs, and it will plug right into MYOB so you don't have to double up with your data. Now, with Cisco donate a range of networking equipment. That might be for wired networks, like the switch you can see on the screen, or wireless networks. And it's all high-speed, reliable, stable equipment. If you are not using wireless network yet, or you're using older wired networking equipment that might not be quite as fast for data transfer, it may be worth having a look at upgrading. Also, in the case of a lot of organizations, sometimes you outgrow the number of ports on your existing networking equipment, so it can be really useful to have a look at some of that Cisco equipment. The eligibility process for Cisco, like I mentioned before, has just changed. So if you're not sure that if you're eligible, please check with customer care or look for that Cisco application link on the My Account page that I showed you before. If you don't qualify for Cisco donations, we do have a range of equipment available from D-Link, which is all from their enterprise range. And that sort of varies between switches and wireless access points, just like Cisco, through to network-based surveillance equipment, network-attached storage devices, so you can connect hard drives to your network and you can share files through those kind of devices, and a range of different utilities which are useful for setting up networks, sharing printers, all kinds of things. So if you aren't eligible for Cisco and you do still need some discounted networking equipment, have a look at the D-Link range. It's really useful. Everybody's very quiet this morning. Second to last program I want to talk about is the Adobe Donations program. So Adobe Donations program currently makes available Adobe Acrobat 11 Pro, which is available for Windows and Mac. So Acrobat Pro allows you to create PDFs, not just read them, but it also allows you to create fillable forms, which using Acrobat, they're almost complex digital documents, combine PDFs, make basic text edits to PDFs, and more. We also have Adobe Photoshop Elements and Premiere Elements available as a bundle for Windows. If you're not professional software, so they're actually a great stepping stone if you're looking for more advanced image editing or video editing software without taking the big step up to Pro. One important thing with the Adobe Donations range is products. When you see them in stock on the website, and they were all in stock this morning when I had a look, they can be out of stock for a couple of months.
We've just got a question from Kylie. Just clarification, if Office for Mac Suite is donated or discounted?
So the question was, is Office for Mac donated or discounted? All of the Microsoft products available through Connecting Up are donated. So Office for Mac is donated, and off the top of my head, I think the admin fee for each license is around $28. No worries. Now, program. And our refurbished computer program has grown over the years based on your feedback to incorporate different solutions that you need. These are Macs. And one of the things that we've done in the last year is allow you to order desktop computers with or without screens. Often you've got a nice big screen already in use and you just need to upgrade the box. So this provides you with a great opportunity to do just that. A lot of the computers now available through the program feature powerful modern Core i5 and i7 processors, but we do have a minimum standard for the computers that we offer through the program. So all of the computers are compatible with Windows 8.1. All of the computers are dual core at minimum and quite powerful. All of the Windows-based computers are professionally refurbished by Microsoft authorized refurbishers. They are pre-installed with Windows 7 Professional and Office 2010 Home and Student. And if you need Windows 8.1 or Office 2013, you're able to upgrade those through the Microsoft Donations program. With the Macs, they are refurbished to the version of Mac OS that they were released with, and you can upgrade the version of Mac OS through the Apple Store, and you can order Office for Mac through the Donations program. A couple of the highlights, some of the more interesting or unique products that have become available through the program over the last couple of months include Panasonic Toughbooks. If you haven't seen these before, they're virtually indestructible laptops that are brilliant if you have staff working out in remote locations. I know that we have a lot of organisations that do soil testing and geology work. They play with rocks all day, and those kind of computers are perfect for them, but they might also be perfect for organisations that work with kids, because the Toughbooks are a bit more solid than most laptops. Also, especially for Kylie, Mac Minis are available through the refurbished computer program now. So they're small desktop Macs, come without screens that you can plug into your existing screens, keyboards, mice, etc. And also some convertible Windows tablets, which have been really popular since we launched them because they're compatible with all of your existing Windows software, so they can remote desktop into your server and function quite well. Some of the highlights of the program, but of course we have normal laptops and desktops, and we have a range of different ones just to help you keep up to date. So that pretty much takes us to the end of the webinar. We've got 10 minutes for questions. So my friend here from Office Space, if you have any questions, now is the time, and we'll stay on here and make sure all of your questions get answered. Don't be shy. Here we go, we've got one from Kylie. We've just received a large grant to set up an IT hub for clients. Would you come out and have a look and give us some advice on the best way to go about it? We have two different ways that we can do something like that, Kylie. One way is, if you haven't heard yet, recently we launched a suppliers directory, and our suppliers directory provides you with the ability to look up organisations that support not-for-profits in your local area and see which IT providers have the most not-for-profit clients, which ones are the most aware of your needs. So we provide that free on the website. You can just go to the directories menu and then suppliers directory, have a bit of a look. The other thing that we do is through our membership program, we offer an hour of mentoring. So I'm not sure where you're based, Kylie, but if you're, depending on Woodville, okay, if you're based in Woodville, we can look at what we can do there. But the membership program includes that 1 hour of mentoring where we can have a look at that and we can provide you with some advice and help you with the planning for that. So the membership program I spoke about before, it's $150 a year and includes discounts to all our events and conference. So that would be the other way that we could look at helping with that. Oh, you're already members, great. So have a look at the mentoring on the website. You can book that all on the website. And with that kind of project, either myself or Pancash would organise to come out and say good day. Do you have any more questions or anything else people would like to see while we've got the webinar on? Any really burning questions or any specific needs you have? No? No problems. Well, following the webinar, Emma will send out the recording and the slides. And in that email, it will include my email address. If you do have any questions, please feel free to send me an email and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Okay, so thank you, Ryan, and thank you to everyone for participating today. As Ryan mentioned, we'll be sending an email to you all with a link to the presentation, as well as a link to a feedback form for today's webinar. We really appreciate any feedback received, which provides some valuable insight to assist us in delivering future events to the sector. So thank you again, everyone.
Thank you.